I'm here to show you the wonderful Julesburg Junior Senior High School and let you know all about where everything is for maybe some of you new students or parents who need to get around. So we're going to go ahead and walk in the front door. Go in, got to call in because doors are locked just to maintain the safety of our students. So now we are inside the school. So here we have the commons area. This is where we usually are after lunch when we're waiting for our next class. Also utilized a lot during volleyball and basketball games. And speaking of sports, if you'll look around, you'll notice all of the trophies and various plaques, whatnot that we've gotten for our great athletic tradition, just accumulated all of this over the years. We've even had an athlete go to the Olympics, Lori Smith, as a hammer thrower. She ended up going to Beijing. So if you want to come in here, we have the gymnasium. It's where we have all of our big athletic events. So again, you can see all the fans, those are folded up. We've got locker rooms on either side. But yeah, let's leave it at that. And as we come around here to the other side of the commons area, you'll see that we have the auditorium. Okay. So over across the commons area from the gym, we have the auditorium where people get to perform all of their more artistic talents. So we continue down. Also, I think this is a pretty nice auditorium. A little smaller than some of the other ones in the area, but we make it work really well. As we continue down, you'll see our Steinway piano. Actually, piano tuners come in and say that's pretty valuable. So we are very fortunate to have this for all of our various performances. And continue up this little stairway for getting on to the actual stage. This is where we have our plays, concerts, and many other performances. So we just had actually a pretty good play here. And this is just some of the stuff that's laying around. One of the great things about the stage is that it has two dressing rooms, one over on that side, one over here, and another backstage door. Here we have where all the high school lockers are. They're all going to be located along this hallway, and we kind of have one side almost of our little circle that goes around for most of our classrooms, but we'll get to that later. Over here we have the office, so if you're needing any administrative help or you're in trouble, that's where you're going to go. So you probably don't want to spend much time there. Anyway, as I said, most of the classrooms in this school are located pretty much around, well, I guess not a circle, but a square. It goes all the way around. So we'll go ahead and take a look at Mrs. Enos's office. We can go here. Mrs. Enos is our wonderful guidance counselor / grant writer / whatever we need her to do. She's been wonderful for us. So we're doing a virtual tour. For all the new students who may be coming in.
Perfect.
I want to see it.
Great idea. Thank
Where
you.
they come. Okay. So we'll continue around our little circle. We've got the restrooms over this side. Over here we have our library. On the far side over there is going to be fiction for the most part. Then over here we have our nonfiction. So now we'll continue our way around our little square, except not a perfect square. We've got a little appendix over here. So come over. We've got our English and history rooms. Room 114 with Mrs. Hurst for English, and room 113 with Mr. Bangert for history. So both fun teachers. As long as you're an okay student, you're gonna like them. So back to kind of our little square. We're going to go ahead and go to this side right here. We have the distance learning lab. So one challenge that a lot of small schools are facing right now is the fact that we have a limited amount of funding, so therefore we can only have a limited number of teachers. So what a lot of the local schools have done is we've kind of pooled our resources, and we have a lot of classes together with other schools so that we can kind of share some of our teachers and still get a very high quality education even with our limited resources. So go ahead and come out here. And by the way, this is the hall where we have all the junior high lockers. So if you're in grades 7 or 8, it's going to be along this hall that you have your locker. Everyone else is going to be back in that hall that we were just in a while back. So here, remember Mrs. Enos, she also teaches life skills, so this is her room, room 112. And over here we have math with Mrs. D, room 111. Really good math teacher in my opinion. So, gonna keep coming along here. So, if you can remember, we had the high school hallway going this way, then we came along that hallway with Mrs. Enos's room in the library, and now we are in this hallway here, coming back to the next angle in our square, but we're gonna go ahead and take a little detour to our other appendix. So here we have kind of our technology area. Most of our computers classes, also some consumer math with Mr. Bain, room 109 and 110. He gets both of them. So let's come around over here. And now we arrive at our final side of our little square here. The media broadcasting room. Take a peek in there. This is where we do all of our video editing. Actually, where we video edited this particular video. And media broadcasting is taught by our art teacher, Mrs. Miller. And room 108 here, Mr. Newstrom. Mr. New teaches science, life science, earth science, physical science, and chemistry. He may teach biology now. It used to be Mr. Baines, might still have it. I'm not sure how that situation is going right now. But it doesn't really matter right now because we are moving along to the science lab and Mr. Baines' room. In 107, 106, they're all locked now, so we can't look at that. But if we finally come to the end of this hallway here, we'll find that we are back in the high school hallway, where we have all of our high school lockers. If you look down the line, commons area, and the office. But if we come back this way, we have what's kind of the arts wing of our school. Starting out with the best room in this entire school, the band room. Band is taught by Mr. Kosman. This is also used for choir and chimes, which are both taught by Mrs. Bell. So again, we're continuing along this hallway. And eventually, this room here, with all of the windows on it, is Mrs. Johnson's room. This is the resource room. So this is where a lot of our more individualized learning takes place. So again, come along in here. You'll see kind of the setup that we have going here. It looks, at first sight, maybe a little bit disorganized and different things going on everywhere, but that's because every student who uses this room has their own individual learning plan, and different setups work for different students. So, all this variety that you see is good. And if we come around over here, we have, I guess, what used to be our home ec facilities. Unfortunately, we no longer have a home economics class, but these kitchen appliances and whatnot are still used for a lot of individual learning concepts. Mrs. Johnson will use that a lot during her classes. To finish up our little tour here, we've got for here the art room. I can't see very well in here, but art is taught by Mrs. Miller. And over on that end, we have our industrial arts room, which is also taught by Mr. Kosman. Has a lot of experience in music, also has a lot of experience in carpentry. So we're definitely learning a lot from that man. So that about does it for showing you all the different rooms that we utilize in this school. So I'll just leave you with a few closing thoughts. Okay, great. So thank you for taking the Julesburg Junior Senior High School virtual tour. And as we make our way back to the office, I would just like to leave you with a few closing thoughts. First off, some of the things that I feel our school has a lot to offer in. First off, academics. We have consistently been among top-ranked schools in our area and in the state of Colorado. So we do offer a really valuable education here. Again, our athletics program has a great tradition of success. So for those of you who are interested in athletics, we've got a pretty good program going. Some of our past seasons not so good, but you know, there's ups and downs, but we're consistently pretty solid. One thing that I'd also like to tell you is that our music program has become very strong in the past few years. I believe personally that this is one of the best, if not the best, music program in this area. So we've got a lot to offer musical people. Finally, again, our doors are locked to the outside to maintain the security and safety of our students and faculty. So the only way really in is to come through the front door near the office. But if students need to exit the school, there are doors all along the perimeter that students can use. So you can get out, but you can't get in unless you come through here. And in case something were to happen, we do have an emergency protocol plan so that we can keep our students and faculty as safe as possible. Again, thanks for taking this virtual tour. I'm Elizabeth, signing off.